Hey boys and girls, welcome to Dallas, Texas today. Ken Smith, KenSmithFishing.com here. I say boys and girls, by the way. I just downloaded an interesting app. I now have about 6% of my followers are females, so welcome. Glad y'all are here. I'll tell you, I've had a lot of co-anglers. I've had to share the boat with a lot of people over the years. One of the best fisher people I've ever fished with is Noby Joe Labert. Hi Noby Joe, I know you watch sometimes. If you ever want to go fishing, holler at me. Noby Joe was my co-angler, I don't know how many years ago, 15, 20 years ago, in I think an Angler's Choice Draw tournament. She had the tournament won. She put on a show from the back of the boat, throwing a jerk bait, and lost about a 4 or 5 pounder, pulled off one by the boat, or she would have won that tournament. So I've certainly enjoyed sharing the boat with a lot of really good female anglers over the year. And so welcome y'all, and hope you're getting into fishing. I know there's a lot of girls fishing in the high school and the college stuff now too, or more high school but coming into college. So glad to see y'all out there on the water as well. I know Sarah certainly enjoys fishing with me. So as I told you 2 weeks ago, did not get on the water this past weekend. Ran up to Colorado and did a little study group work thing and snuck in a little bit of skiing. But I have been in contact with a bunch of guys who have been on the water the last couple of weeks, or the last week. And just a couple things to report. I'm going to keep this report pretty short. So the water has stayed about the same. It's about 50 degrees. The lake level has come up a little bit, and I know this is going to be really bad footage, but for young anglers who don't track this, this is something to pay attention to. If the water's coming up or staying level, but especially coming up, fish will tend to get really shallow. Now, that doesn't work on a cold front or other things, but this time of year, even though it's just barely into February, these fish are already thinking about coming shallow. Rising water will push them shallower. Dropping water will pull them back out. So I always check, and I actually check it probably too often, kind of like checking the stock market, but I check the lake levels. Now the easiest way to do that here is on the USGS website. I know that's impossible to see, but just FYI, it's waterdata.usgs.gov and then /Texas. You go down here to river basins. Rayburn is under, actually this one's not ranked by river basins. So major river basin, go, and it's going to take us over here to the Neches River Basin. Click on Rayburn. This is a great website. You can customize this website. I always look at it for the last 14 days. Go, and what you're going to see here is the lake is still low. So the lake is at 161.78. It crept up with the rain. We got about 7/10 of an inch through the first part of the month at the Lufkin Airport, the Lufkin International Airport, which I don't think anybody flies in and out of there, but anyway, at the airport there, about 7/10 of an inch. So we've had a little bit of rain. The lake looks like it's going to level out, and I would imagine if we don't get more rain, then we'll see it start dropping, but I think we got rain coming. So I think in general the fish should be trying to come shallow this week. Certainly the results of the tournament this week indicate that the fish are coming shallower. So if you didn't see Clinton Stacy's tournament circuit, Outlaw Outdoors fished Saturday. Our buddy Nick Rayburn from Louisiana just crushed them. Had a 30 or 31 pound bag, had a 9 pounder, still had 4 other fish that weighed 20, 21 pounds. Philip Crillia was right behind him with 29 something, just under 30 pounds. That's some big sacks to be dropped. There are 95, 97 boats fishing. I love the concept of this tournament circuit, by the way. It's called Sweet 16, so if you catch 16 pounds, you get a check. And I think 15 or 17 teams, so a lot of folks call over 16 pounds. I did text or sent Nick a Facebook message and said, hey, nice sack. We got, of course, Texas Team Trail coming up this weekend and then Costa next week. And I said, funny, I've heard from many different sources that you caught them on a Carolina rig, on a football jig, on a rattle trap, on a jerk bait, flipping, and on a frog, 50-degree water temperature. And he responded back, I think, with a smiley face and said, yes, or maybe yes, 3 of those or something like this. So obviously we're fishing against each other, and guys are starting to get tight-lipped, especially, there's a lot of money on the line next week in the Costa. And you're gonna have to crush them to do any good. Last year I had 15-10 day one and barely cracked the top 50. Day two, I caught a really nice big stringer, 26 and change, and jumped into the top 10 and finished in sixth place with, I don't know, 56, 57 pounds. It'll take something similar to that. It'll take, I would guess, 38, 39 pounds to make the cut, maybe more than that. I mean, I don't know that the lake's ever been in better shape from a grass standpoint. There is literally grass in the ash arm. There's grass up the Angelina, up the Atoyig. There's grass up the, there's grass everywhere. And that's going to bring fish shallow. That gives us great hatches. It gives us great big fish shallow. And certainly with, 20% of the field this past weekend went over 16 pounds, that would indicate that. The one thing I do know, or the one thing I did hear, I don't know it, but apparently all of Nick's fish were very light colored, which tells you not a lot, but it does tell you those fish were either caught deep or were deep recently, which would stand to reason. Another interesting thing I did hear is the rattlebait bite is not just a rattle trap anymore. So we were really struggling getting bit on anything but a rattle trap. And a rattle trap, not a knocker trap, but a rattle trap. And I hear now that the knocker baits are working, the Academy knocker bait's working, the Yamamoto rattle trap is working, or the Yamamoto rattle bait's working, the Lucky Craft bait's working, the Daiwa bait's working. So those fish there's just more fish coming shallow. The one thing I did hear that was interesting was a guy who's kind of been wrecking them down there on an A-rig, only had 4 fish this weekend. Now he had an 8-pounder, but he only had 4 for 12 pounds, so he had 3 knotheads with that. So that tells me the fish are probably getting up on top of the grass, because as they get up shallower, that A-rig's a lot harder to catch them on. The big, hard to catch big fish on. So I do think there's also probably, if not yet, we're really close to having a swim bait bite down there as well. I would not be surprised if this weekend and next weekend you don't see our Carolina rig guys really starting to show up on that intermediate bite from the edge of the grass, which in most places is 8 or 9 feet out to 15 feet, where those fish like to stage on that clay before they move up really shallow to start spawning. We're on a full moon or just after a full moon, so we're going to have a weird cycle this year. Our real full moon, spawning full moon, is going to fall the last weekend of February or first couple of days of March. We'll be on a new moon, I think, next week during Costa, but I don't really think, last year we were a week later, the 21st, 22nd, and it was a big spawn fest the first couple of days till those guys wore through that first wave of fish. Don't think we'll see that happen this year. There might be a few fish. I just don't think we're going to see any spawners next week. It's 40 outside right now. It's two-steer windy. It's going to be, I think it's still going to be a complete pre-spawn tournament. Would not also be surprised if the jerkbait doesn't come into play to catch some key fish as well. So my report this week is water's in the high 40s, low 50s still. Most of the drains have gotten very dirty. Anything that's got a live creek feed into it because of the rain is very muddy. A buddy of mine started up the Pofer's Arm the other day, and he said it was Red River red, and just turned and came back out. So, I would imagine, I haven't been back there, but imagine the back of Harvey's probably got some color to it. The back of Mud, back of Buck, a lot of that stuff's going to start getting color to it with this inflow of fresh water. Fortunately, sorry about that little coughing break there. I had to go get my Toby Keith Red Solo Cup glass of water. So that's kind of my report. Fishing's going to get so much better in the next few weeks. It's already getting better. You're going to have bad days when we get, weird things happen. But I'll tell you, my best day ever trap fishing on Rayburn was a March northeaster, 20-25 miles an hour. Temperature was in the low 30s, but the sun was shining, which it sounds like the worst day ever to go fishing. But the fish got on top of the grass. I had 2 over 8. I had one that dwarfed those 2 on. I was pre-fishing. I was trying not to let a guy see it, and the fish got off. But it was a 30 plus, maybe pushing 40-pound day trap fishing. It was one of the most fun days I've ever experienced. So just because you get weird weather this time of year, don't think those fish, once they commit to shallow, they commit to shallow. So fishing's going to get better. Guys, by the way, I want to say thanks. I've got a ton of new subscribers on YouTube. I'm averaging like 8 or 10 a day. trying to get to 1,000. I get a lot of new features from YouTube that I can use once I get to 1,000. So please share with your buddies. If you enjoy my YouTube videos, share with them so that I can get some additional YouTube resources once I get to 1,000 subscribers. I went from 200 a month ago to 500 plus today. If all you guys would just refer a buddy, I'd be at 1,000 within a week or so. So I appreciate you subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe now. Please tell your buddies about it, boys and girls, and I'd love to get this thing up and get some additional, more on the water footage. I'd love to get a videographer on the water with a good, non-fisheye camera, and take some additional video and continue giving you guys good content and sharing. And by the way, thanks for all the comments on the battery charger and my gel battery issue. I had 2 or 3 guys who were absolutely spot on. It is a battery charger issue. It's not a battery issue. You either need to run liquid cells or you need a charger that you can tell that charger that battery is a gel battery, because they charge differently. So I went to all liquid cell batteries. Everything's working out great. Thank you guys for that. Also, big shout out. I've had multiple guys in the last couple of weeks coming from all over the place. So let me think about this give me a second. So I had 2 different guys reach out to me from Colorado, believe it or not. So Adam Deacon reached out. Hello, Adam. Thanks for subscribing and watching. They were going to fish a Bassmasters college tournament on Toledo Bend, driving all the way down from Colorado State. I can't imagine how long that took. I put them around some fish. They made the fatal mistake we've all made once or twice. The first day they left fish to find fish and should have stayed put. Second day they made the right decision. They stayed around the area where they had found some fish, caught 17-1. I'm going to try to get a picture up here, but I don't know that I can do that. But whether I do or not, congratulations guys, great job. Adam, congratulations guys, great job. Adam Deacon and I think Alex Sloan. Hold on a second, I wrote your name down so I remember this. Alex Sloan, congratulations on that. I know you guys didn't quite make the national championship, but to drive hundreds of miles and come down here and compete, good job guys. Also, Steve Cubbage, another Colorado guy, who would have thunk it, reached out. He gets down here some. He's got family in East Texas. He caught a 10-2 a couple of weeks ago. I've also got a picture of that. I'll try to add in here, right here. Don't know if that worked or not, but so he caught this 10-2, said he caught it on a chatterbait on a main lake, grassy point. Makes perfect sense, 6 to 8 feet deep. So it tells you the big ones will bite a chatterbait. We had a conversation this weekend. It's the hardest bait for me to pick up when they're biting a square bill or a trap or an A-rig or a swim bait. But there are times they're going to smoke that chatterbait when there won't eat anything else nearly as well. I think it's kind of a mix between a swim bait and maybe almost like a jerk bait bite for some reason. But that was a beautiful fish he caught. I got a message this morning from a guy from Arkansas. And oddly, we know, well, not oddly, I grew up in Arkansas, but we know mutual guys. We had just never connected. So I love getting your feedback. I love hearing your ideas for future videos. I'm going to be on the water this Friday practicing for Texas Team Trail, and then Saturday fishing the Team Trail. We'll try to get some footage on that. And then Costa starts next Thursday, so I'll be on the water Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday practicing. I think we can practice Wednesday. And then fishing Thursday, Friday. So. And Saturday, so hopefully I'm planning on making the cut again this year. So I'll be getting some good footage up. I'll try to, they may be shorter, but I'll try to get footage up all through practice just to let you guys know what's going on. And I'm really looking forward to spending kind of 8 or 9 or 10 uninterrupted days down at the Zavala headquarters and getting to fish. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. Please subscribe if you haven't. And we'll continue getting good content out, and there should be some really good videos here in the next week. I apologize for bringing you into my real world here, selling insurance in Dallas, Texas, but we all got to pay the bills. So that's it for this week, and I'll have another video up here within 5 or 6 days. Thanks guys, we'll talk to you soon. Hey guys, one last thing I meant to mention earlier and I just forgot. I'm going to have my boat up for sale here, actually any day now. So 2014 Z520, single console. It's a beautiful white boat, gray carpet. Got a Pro XS 250 on it, power poles. It's got a Humminbird Helix 12 on the front. a 10 in the dash, and then an 1199 as an additional unit with side scan on the dash as well. Boat's got oxygenator. I mean, it's a nice boat, loaded out. And I'm going to tell you, I haven't figured out what the price is yet, but I'll be middle to bottom of current pricing. Boat's in warranty, by the way, till November of this year. I'm not going to overprice it. I want to move it, and I want somebody to get a good deal on it, as I've done with my boats in the past. So if you're in the market or thinking about getting in the market for a boat, reach out to me, let me know, and we'll either go for a test ride or I'll send you pictures or whatever else we need to do so that you can get in a new Ranger, and so can I. Thanks, guys.